it every 2 weeks. The last time Jackie was with us, Anthony Spirito, my co-host, he was on vacation. Welcome
I'm
back,
back,
Anthony.
everybody.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. He'll talk about his vacation later on. And Jackie said we had, if you remember, Chef Rue. She was talking about her cookbook, a young chef from coming in from California. Am I correct, Jackie? She's from California.
Right. San Francisco.
San Francisco. Very nice person. And actually, she's coming up on the next episode of In the Kitchen with Chef Renee Hewitt. Next we have Gail Marquis. I pronounce it right, Gail?
Right on.
Right on. Okay.
On the money.
Yes, thank you. If you remember, Gail was a special person who came on. She is an Olympian, women's basketball Olympian. Am I saying it right, Gail?
Yes. Thank you, Chef Renee.
Yes. An Olympian. I made a mistake and said was at one time, but there's no such thing as was, right, Gail? Gail
That's right.
No yeah, she is an Olympian. And I did the story on her. Also, the Devotion Project, in which I'm going to do again, and I'm going to bring her on again with her lovely wife, Audrey Smalls. Audrey was on In the Kitchen with Chef Renee Hewitt this week. So welcome, everybody. I did my introduction. Thank you for being here. There's so much going on, all different types of food. And as you know, we're here to talk about food and recipes and all that kind of stuff. And talking about food, Gail and I was on the phone a few days ago, and on one of my shows, I created some curry chicken. And Gail was asking about the curry chicken and the different types of curries. Am I correct?
The different types of curries, the different types of marsalas, the garam marsala. They were things I hadn't heard of, and then there were different ones. So I just wanted to be able to find out what was the difference.
Yes, because there are so many different types of curry. You have the Indian curry, you have
you've got Jamaican curry, you've got Thai curry.
Right.
Yeah.
Trinidad is a little bit different too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Trinidad. Yeah, that's a little bit different. So what I did, when I was in culinary school, I did my externship at a place here in the Heights, and it was Caribbean flavor. And they showed me how they make their curry. The curry that they had me purchase came from a Jamaican store, not too far from here. Gail, I sent you the picture of it, correct?
I'll take a look again.
Yeah. And the Marcella, that was part of it. Yes. But there's so many different types. I learned that myself, that you have to be careful. Now, if you want the authentic, what you want to do, you want to get it from a Jamaican store, because the supermarkets, they don't have the correct ones. I'm not saying it's wrong, but they don't have the flavor that we're looking for. Anthony, could you explain something about you was mentioning before we started about a different type of curry, correct?
Yeah, so obviously there are a number of different types of curries that people use, whether it be Indian, Asian Indian, Jamaican, Thai. So the curry that I make at home is a Thai curry, a red Thai curry. It is different than an Indian curry. It's different than the Jamaican curry. It's considerably more spicy.
Yes, I was going to ask that. Mm-hmm.
I was going to ask that too.
Thai curries tend to be a bit more spicy than most. They're fantastic. And if you live here in Jersey City and you like cooking Asian food, I would highly recommend that you take a trip over to 99 Ranch, which is in downtown Jersey City.
I've been there. That's a big store, right? It's Asian?
It's a massive Asian supermarket,
yes.
right? It used to be, so that used to be a Pathmark for many, many years.
I know where that is.
And yeah, so it's like a Disney World of Asian groceries. They have the most spectacular produce, and they have such an array of different types of curries and sauces and cuts of seafood and poultry and beef. It's an amazing store. So I would highly recommend it if that's your thing. But red Thai curry and Penang curry are two of the primary Thai curries in Thai cuisine. And I love them. I think they're spectacular. Now, with that being said, I love a good Jamaican curry. I love a good Indian curry. But from a home cook's perspective, I tend to gravitate toward the Thai, probably because I like it a little spicier.
Yes, I do too.
But it's spectacular. I would highly recommend it. And these curries can be used. They could be made with any type of protein, be it poultry, seafood, beef, pork, or no protein at all. You could just use it with vegetables. It's very, very versatile.
Yeah, that's the good thing about the curries. And excuse me, like I mentioned before, I didn't understand what they were about until I got a little bit more involved in them. So I would suggest maybe you can go to the same store that I picked it up. It's not far from here. It's like Bergen Avenue, up in that area. You can pick it up.
Renee, do you know the name of the store by any chance?
I think it's something like ANCO, something like that. I'll give you the name of the store. I think it's ANC. It's a small store, and they're from Jamaica. Now, when I was at Caribbean Flavor, they were teaching me how to make the curry goat, curry chicken, curry, et cetera, et cetera. I had no idea about it. I thought to make this curry chicken that you would take curry, put it in a pot, add the chicken, add water, and let it boil. I mean,
instant curry. Like minute rice.
Let me tell you, I just knew I had curry chicken. I had water. And then I wondered why it didn't taste right, But they had taught me, like Angela next door, is to get the pot hot. And I took the curry, masala, and turmeric, and I mixed those three together. And the pot was hot. I added a little oil, put that in, and took a wooden spoon.
And then you bloom it.
Blooming, yeah. So you start to smell it. It's so good. She had me cut up an onion. When I did the show, I put the onion last, but you can put it in the beginning so it could get all the flavors in it. And then what I did, I added the chicken. That's what she did. I watched her. She added the chicken pieces, and then she started turning it, and it was coating the chicken. She used a nonstick pot, which is good. I didn't have I had that pot, Gail, the one that you saw.
Yes, and I love that pot.
Yeah, very expensive. Luckily for a sponsor, because I wouldn't be buying it either.
I told my friends if I bought that pot, I'd be making everything from condensed soup to the biggest chick. I'm only using that pot to get my money.
That pot was about $260-something.
It's $299. I mean, I'm used to buying a whole set of something. So I said, we're going to use that pot for everything.
Yeah. So what I did after, as Angie said, it started blooming, I started turning it so it can all coat and not a high flame. I just made it mild because I didn't want it to start sticking to the pot.
Right.
So it started to make its own juice. Then she said, add a little water, maybe a cup or so of water. But she said, make sure the water is hot. Because we know when we add cool water to any dish.
It brings it all down.
It brings it all down. So she had on the side the water was boiling, and she put that little water in there and covered it, and I was like, "Oh, this smells so good." And then I learned, I don't know if you experienced it before, the potatoes. She had me cut up potatoes. The first time I cut the potatoes, too small, so she called it. There's a word that they use for it. It'll come to me. So she said to cut the potatoes in nice sized pieces and add it to the pot. The trick was, I said, well, if you do that, the potatoes are going to get mushy. She said, no, when the potatoes start to cook a little, take them out.
Right.
Let the chicken cook. Then put the potatoes back in the end. So when you serve it, you're going to have nice pieces of potato. Right, Anthony? Anthony's shaking his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen,
no, that makes total.
Renee, before you get too far ahead, back to the seasonings. You talked about the curry. Could you talk about the garam masala?
Yes, actually.
Because I never heard of that before, and I had to look it up, and I noticed that the spices in the garam masala are very similar to the spices in the Indian curry. The Indian curry seemed to have more spices than the Jamaican curry. Could you talk a little bit about
I can tell you that a garam masala that's basically 3/4 of an Indian curry right there. Garam masala is like probably one of the basic building blocks of Indian cuisine when it comes to spices.
Really?
If you're going to make any Indian dish, including making the curry, you need garam masala. Garam masala is like, it's our salt or pepper.
Yeah, the godfather.
That's how it is in Indian cuisine. Like I love to make Indian food. I absolutely love it. And I probably have 3 or 4 large containers of garam masala because I use it constantly. Whenever I'm making a butter chicken, I'm making a tandoori chicken, all of which I mostly make in my Instant Pot or my multi-cooker. I use garam masala as like the key ingredient to all Indian cooking. Yeah.
Good. Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, I'm not educated personally and through culinary school with Indian cuisine, but I would like to learn some of the food that they make because I've tasted before and it's very good. It's very, very different. You know, it's different on the palate, and I would like to learn a little bit more about it. The turmeric, all of this stuff coming from Jamaica and Indian, it's new to me. But I like experimenting, and Anthony, he does a lot of cooking compared to me. Right, Anthony?
I don't know if I do more cooking than you, but I like to sort of operate outside my comfort zone. Yeah. I mean, my inclination is to make Italian American food because I'm an Italian American. But I love Asian food. I love it. I love Chinese, Japanese, Indian, Malaysian, Vietnamese, all of it. I try and do, and Thai, especially Thai. Thai is big for me.
Yeah, when I hear Thai, I think of spices. That's the first thing that comes to mind, the spices. And I don't mind it.
Spicy.
Yeah, I don't mind it because I like jerk chicken. And jerk chicken is very spicy.
It's very spicy.
Yes, it can be, and I like that. Every once in a while, it's sort of good for you. So, Gail, did we sort of touch on what you were asking about?
Yes, you did. You did, and I didn't get one other question I did have, and Renee and we were talking about that. Is as I read the labels, I noticed that it said sodium. I'm like a lot of African Americans, a lot of Caribbeans. You always got to watch that salt intake. I look at the Jamaican curry, the Jamaican spices, and I see 3 digits, meaning anywhere from 100 to 800 milligrams of sodium. I look at the Indian dishes, I don't see that much sodium. So You said you look at the percentage. I was looking at the numbers.
Yeah,
maybe I shouldn't look at them at all.
No, you can. I just initially learned by looking at the percentage of it, opposed to the numbers, like milligrams or grams, whatever it may be. I look at the percentage and I try not to do over 5%.
Right. And then Jackie was saying how Jackie says that sometimes she mixes her own spices. I'm not there yet, but
it's not difficult at all. Like I have a coffee grinder and I don't really drink coffee.
Yeah.
So I have my coffee grinder. Yeah. And I purchase, like, sometimes I purchase like nutmeg, whole nutmeg, you know, all those spices, and I just make my own, because a lot of people from the Caribbean, they don't really put a lot of salt in their spices.
Oh, good.
They mostly make their own spice, you know what I mean, and put maybe less salt or no salt at all. Yeah. The salt probably sometimes comes after.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and just to piggyback on what Jackie is saying, you know, if anybody out there listening who sort of aspiring to do more cooking and sort of change up their game a little bit, it is a good investment to, you know, if you have a coffee grinder, that's fine, and save it for your coffee. Buy another cheap one for spices only.
Yes,
right?
That's
Don't mix. Don't mix your coffee grinder with your spice grinder. Have a separate spice grinder.
Oh no.
Right, but
that's a good idea.
But definitely have a spice grinder. I have the same thing, Jackie. I have one of my older coffee grinders that I use now as a spice grinder.
Right.
And whenever I can, I grind up my own spices.
Yeah.
I try not to. Yes, do I buy plenty of spices? Absolutely. I'm a sucker. I'm a consumer. But when it comes to sort of grinding up a spice that has no sodium in it, or something that I want to make, I use my spice grinder, and I would highly recommend to anybody out there, any aspiring cook, have a dedicated spice grinder. It's a cheap coffee grinder or a small food processor that operates on a battery.
See, I have the same thing. I do the same thing. I have a food processor for when I make my butters, my shea butters, and I have a food processor for when I make my food. Like,
there you go.
It's always good to have the double. I love that.
But be careful when you're using the grinder, because my initial mistake was I grinded so much it became fine powder.
Yeah. Well, they usually have the ingredients.
You only want to pulse it. You only want to pulse it a few times.
Yes.
You don't want to. You don't want to turn it into a paste, right?
No.
Particularly, there are certain spices that have a lot of moisture in it, and if you grind them too much, they basically turn it into a paste.
Well, it's the heat. When you use the grinder, the heat, when it's so much friction, it's that heat that starts to melt the ingredients. You don't want to do that. You want to be so careful.
Mine was so fine. It was fine as flour.
Ooh.
I was first learning how to use the grinder, so that's what happened.
Okay.
Because I had it in there, you know, it was just going and going. And when I looked at it, I sneezed, because as soon as I opened it,
another one.
Yeah. But see, I was learning it. I didn't mind experimenting, you know.
But sometimes that's good too. If it came out like flour, still use that, because you just never know. You know what I mean? You could coat your chicken with it instead of actually using flour. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
This was about 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago. But when I use spices on the show, and we're going to talk about a spice that my guests here are getting, I tell them on the show, for one thing, I made a mistake. I didn't make sure the cover was tight on the spice jar, and I was like this, and it came all out on my food. I was learning. I learned the hard way, and then here I'm getting a spoon and trying to throw it in the sink. However. Yes.
That's happened to me too. I mean, it happens.
It happens. Yeah. So on the show, I tell people, when you're using the spice, instead of taking the spice and sprinkling, put it in the palm of your hand and put it between your fingers and squeeze it to get the oils out of it, opposed to just putting it on.
Smell
because
too.
the oils are in there, and you go smell it before and smell it after, and you're going to see the difference because it's blooming. And then use it. I also found with using the spice, I was fixing Laudo pork chop, and I put the spice on. I put it in a large sandwich bag, and I squeezed it, opposed to putting it on and just putting it in the refrigerator. I actually was pushing the spice into the meat.
Yeah.
Pushing it into it, and then let it sit in the refrigerator for how long I was going to do it. But speaking about spices, our sponsor, R.L. Schreiber, who provides spices for Hudson County Community College and for my show, our sponsor for Sunday Brunch, they have a variety of spices, hundreds of them. And Anthony, he received, which one did you receive, Anthony?
Yeah, put that up nice and slow. Oh, yeah.
Yes, which one
roasted
is that?
Garlic pepper. Roasted
that's the roasted garlic pepper, and it is good.
I bet.
Now, that's amazing.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, let me ask you a question. How many times have you used it?
So, I got back from Puerto Vallarta last Saturday, and I started cooking last Sunday. So I probably used it about a half a dozen times.
And Anthony, what are you using it on? Everything from eggs to chicken to salads? What are you using it on?
I've used it on chicken. I've used it on vegetables. I roasted a bunch of vegetables last night. I used this. I grilled. So I wanted to make my intention is to make a Cobb salad during the week for dinner. And so I grilled up some chicken breasts this morning after I got up, and I seasoned it. Instead of using, you would use salt and pepper rather than, I use salt and this instead of pepper. And I've used it on salads.
It is.
I mean, it's a universal spice. It's very unobtrusive. It's not like it's super strong, but it definitely enhances the flavor of whatever it is you're using it on, particularly a protein. So I've used this so far I've used it on pork, chicken, salads, and vegetable. And it's fantastic.
I use it a lot myself. I really do. I like that one. Actually, I had to tell them, I asked them, I said, I need replenishing of spices. And the first time I did it was 2. And then the second time, Janie said, Renee, how many do you really need that's going to last you? Because it's coming in from Kentucky. So she sent me 3 of them. She said 3. Because it's so good. They also have a spice. Anthony, you don't have it. I probably can get you guys some. It's their, rotisserie. It's Calgary rotisserie. Let me tell you, R.L. Schreiber lifts it up, and it has that rotisserie taste.
That flavor.
It is so good. Not because they're my sponsor, because I have received other spices and but anyway.
So Renee, one question. So if somebody out there wanted to order or buy some of this stuff, or wanted to browse some of the spices that R.L. Schreiber has to offer, how do they do this? Do they have a website? Can you order this stuff online? How does this work?
Yes, you can go to R.L. Schreiber, SCHREIBER.com. And they have a whole everything. They even have recipes.
Yes, they do.
Using some of their spices. It just goes on, and it's in categories. I think they have like appetizers. They have, and then when they recommend one of their spices, when you go down on the page, you see each ingredient that put that spice together. Mm-hmm. So if it was 4 different parts to making of the spice, they do that.
So they list all the components of each of those products. Mm-hmm. And can you order this stuff directly online, or do you have to call them?
Yes, you can go online, order from there, and then they'll ship it out to you. Right. It takes about 3 days before you get it. And they have it.
I'm ordering more of this for sure.
He needs a 6-pack.
I'm almost halfway done.
He needs a 6-pack. Do they have it? We're coming into barbecue season now. I'm on the grill.
That's right.
Oh, they have, yeah.
They have stuff for my barbecue chicken and ribs and hamburgers.
Yes, they have. Let me see if I can show you what they have, okay?
Oh, shoot.
I got him to move out that chair, y'all. He's holding out on it. Get out that chair. What you got in the back?
Oh, man.
Right? I know where he lives. I might have to go take him down to something. I know where he lives. I have to do a drive-by. I got to do a drive-by.
Give me all your goods.
Now,
you got big bottles too.
Economy sizes.
Yeah, they sent in the big bottles. I got the
wow.
Okay, this is just 1, 2, 3, 4 out of about that I have about 10. This one is Chipotle Mountain Rub.
Oh, okay.
Really nice. I was going to ask you, Anthony, when you use that spice, did you put it on and then the second time you said, oh, I need to add a little bit more the second time around? Or was it okay the first time?
I mean, for me, it was okay the first time.
Okay. Because I know sometimes if I use something, the first time I'll say, okay, this was good. Next time,
you need to adjust it.
Yeah, adjust it. This one here, this is a lemon pepper salt-free seasoning.
Oh, I have that one. I have that one.
Yeah. This one is what I was telling you. This is sweet and smoky rotisserie.
Nice.
This I used, and look, and it's down to here.
Ooh.
So that tells you something.
Ooh.
And then one other I picked up. This one, buffalo wing spice. I know.
Listen, you guys know him. He's been holding out on you.
No, I was the one who, I said if you're going to sponsor, you have to send my guests some spices. And if we were closer, I would actually put some in little bags and say, okay, here's a friend of mine used to call it a care package. Uh-huh. Yeah. So, using the spices. Oh, and then also I found with spices, not just this, I was just taking it, put it in my hand, and I didn't do this because all the spices
what you need to do.
Yes, all the spices settle down to the bottom through transporting them. No matter what spice you use, always turn it and shake it, and then look inside and you say, "Oh, I didn't know that was in there."
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So it's important to know how you're going to use the spices.
I actually had gotten a spice that I had never seen before. It's what is it called? I guess you call it beet powder. And I had gotten it from the food show. And I was so intrigued, like with the color. The color was so beautiful. I was just like, I wonder what I can use this for. I could probably use this to make a salad dressing. But I remember having to make red velvet cake for someone. Uh-huh. And I didn't want to use the red food coloring because I know that it has like, there's pork in there, fat, and and I just didn't want to use that. So I wanted to try something different. So I actually taste the beet powder, and it has like a natural like semi-sweetness to it.
Oh, wow.
So what I decided to do is say, let me mix this in, just regular white, you know, cake, not even with chocolate. And it came out blood red.
Wow.
And the flavor, I didn't even have to put too much sugar. I didn't have to put the amount of sugar. Usually I didn't actually use sugar. I used some honey and agave. And it came out perfect. Wow. So sometimes, you know, spices that you use, you think it's for one thing. And when your mind just starts going, you're like, go ahead, create, try it out. Yeah. It actually works. So whenever I make red velvet now, I only use that. I don't use the food coloring anymore.
Wow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Excellent.
I didn't know that red food coloring had pork in it.
Yeah, and some of the other stuff too, like it's toxic. I want to try to be as natural as I can. Like even when I make hair products, I don't use parabens and sulfates and everything like that. I use like raw shea butter. I use coconut oil. I use olive oil. I mean, you'll see me sometimes. I could be in the kitchen, get some olive oil, pour it in my hand, go like this, my face, and then my hand, and somebody would go like, what? It's good. It's good for your skin.
That's good for your hair. I used to live in Italy and Europe, and I had not taken my black hair products with me.
Okay.
I went and got that olive oil. It worked all over.
The extra virgin, yeah, it's excellent for you.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah, did wonders for me.
Look at me.
Well, your skin looks good.
It's just like that. But Anthony, when you were away in Mexico, as Lotto told me how to pronounce it, it's Mexico. Tell us about the food. What was that like?
Oh, I bet.
Well, I mean, food in Mexico it's a revelation. It really is. I mean, whatever your idea of Mexican food is here, throw it out the window. It has no application in Mexico whatsoever.
Especially the tacos.
Yes, especially the tacos. But really, I mean, Mexican cuisine is really, I mean, even though the taco is a staple, there's so much more to Mexican cuisine than the taco. And the food is just amazing. It really is. And where we were staying in a private residence that came with, so we rented the penthouse of this private residence for 2 weeks. And it came with the services of a chef for 2 meals a day.
Wonderful.
Which worked out very well. We're in a pandemic. We didn't want to go out very much. In fact, we didn't go out at all. We stayed within our bubble, and she was tested. She was spectacular. She was such a fantastic chef. And she was tested and vaccinated, so we didn't even have to worry about that. And she, we gave her sort of a rough sort of idea of what our menu was going to be for 2 weeks, and she would go out and she would provision from the local grocery stores, the local produce stores, so everything was completely fresh. The eggs, the proteins, vegetables, everything.
And those vegetables fresh.
And they were gorgeous. And we ate extremely well for 2 weeks. I mean,
wow.
Needless to say, I'm on a diet now because it's only so much corn, tortillas, and, you know. So just to give you an idea, one of the most unbelievable dishes that she made for us, she made it's a typical Mexican dish called cochinita pibil, right? So it is braised pork shoulder, but what she did with it is that she conserved bacon fat from all of her cooking, and which turned into lard, of course, right? And so she took that lard and she cut up the pork shoulder, the pork butt, into small pieces, and she fried it in the bacon fat for hours. For hours. For hours, probably a good 2.5 to 3 hours on low and slow. So it wasn't, it wasn't a super hot flame. And she just let that ride for a couple of hours. And I have never had pork butt. I mean, I've had plenty of pork butt in my life, but I've never had it fried in lard or bacon fat. Holy cow. I mean, are my arteries crying? Yes. I mean, this is not a healthy dish. I'm not professing that this is, you're going to lose weight eating this food. However, it is one of the most delicious things that I've ever eaten. You put that, you just simply take a little spoonful of that, you put it in a warm corn tortilla with a little bit of green sauce, you're good to go. Yes, and that's the simplicity of Mexican cuisine. You don't need to put cheese. Yeah. You don't need to put sour cream. Yeah, you don't put any of that stuff on there.
All the additives.
Yes, none of that is necessary. If the main thing that you're putting in that tortilla is tasty enough, that's all you need.
Don't need anything else.
All you need.
That's right.
Well,
and so it's very, very good.
Yes, Anthony. So it's sort of like American Mexican food has the cheese and the sour cream and all of these other additives.
I mean,
we here in America, we have a tendency of, we obviously adapt it to our cultural tastes. When I say our cultural taste, I'm not including everybody in that. I'm just saying generally. But the fact of the matter is that, if you go to Mexico, or if you go to Jamaica, if you go to Italy, if you go to France, Puerto Rico, if you go to where the cuisine originated, you're going to get a much more authentic experience than what you're going to get here. Now, that's not to say that you can't get a good taco here. You can.
Right.
You can. That's not to say that you can't get a good curry here. You can. Yeah. But by and large, Gail, exactly what you're saying. It's, we, in American culture, we tend to sort of bastardize cuisines to fit our culture. And ultimately, I think, and this is just my opinion, I think we end up ruining it because it's just it's not authentic anymore. I mean, yes, it's comforting, it's good. A lot of people go to Taco Bell when they're drunk at 3 o'clock in the morning, but that's not.
I still have never been there.
Oh, good for you, Gail. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I have. Wish I never did.
When Laurel came in from Mexico, we happened to go in the Stop and Shop, and I said, and true story, I said, oh, look, we can get some tacos. He said, what's that? So, the taco goes, he saw the taco when it's cut like this. He goes, no, that's not taco.
Oh, my goodness.
We don't put lettuce, tomato, and everything.
Yeah.
So I said, so what do you put in it? He said, we take the beef or pork or whatever it is and put it in.
Just put it
turn
in.
it over and eat it like that.
Wow.
I said, really?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yes, because the food should, that main ingredient,
it stand on its own.
It should stand on its own. Yeah. Exactly, Gail.
That's right.
I think the same thing with Chinese food. You got Chinese food here in America, but then when you go to the mainland,
forget it.
Completely different.
Totally different. You can't order chop suey over there. They have no idea what you're talking about. That's our made-up cuisine here.
And I can certainly speak from experience when it comes to, there are two when it comes to Italian American cuisine and Italian cuisine, they're two very different things.
Yes, there is.
Italian American cuisine is very different than what you would find in Italy. You have dishes that sort of traveled across the Atlantic during the immigration at the turn of the century that has sort of evolved, but very few of those dishes that we call Italian here exist in Italy. They don't exist. I can tell you that firsthand. And that's not to say that Italian American cuisine is any better or worse than Italian cuisine. It's just they're two different things.
Yeah, because someone takes a recipe and they make it their own. So what you're saying, that's what happened. It came from Italy, came here, and they said, "Oh, let's add something to it." And here it's all about what's the right word? Not money, but it's all about
being fast.
Yeah.
And being quick about it,
Convenience, yes, convenience.
The convenience. And I guess people look at it and they say, "Oh my goodness, look at this pizza, and it has all of this, it has all of that."
Well, I mean, the other thing too, particularly when it comes to Italian cuisine, is that, here in America, we have an abundance of ingredients. We have beef, we have chicken, we have pork, we have whatever protein you want. At the turn of the century, when immigrants were moving from Italy to the United States, Italy was particularly southern Italy, was a very poor region, and they didn't have meat, they didn't have chicken, they didn't have pork. They basically they existed on pasta and they existed on beans. So here in this country, we have a cornucopia of availability when it comes to produce, proteins, whatever. So a lot of those immigrants that didn't have those things in their home country adapted. So you have something like Parmigiana, right? Chicken cutlet Parmigiana is a big Italian-American staple. You go to any Italian-American restaurant, you'll find chicken cutlet Parmigiana or veal cutlet Parmigiana on the menu. That doesn't exist in Italy. No? There is only one Parmigiana in Italy, and that is eggplant. There is no other Parmigiana available. You cannot order a chicken cutlet. You cannot order a veal cutlet. You can't order shrimp Parmigiana. Doesn't exist.
Wow. They'd be saying, you must come from the United States.
Well, that's it.
They can see us coming.
Those dishes emanated from the United States.
Right.
That's the United States made those dishes popular.
Yeah. And Gail, what's your background when it comes to cuisine?
Well, my family is from the islands, from the Virgin Islands.
Oh,
okay. Came up through that, but I tend to cook Southern. I tend to cook Italian. I like Chinese, but I haven't found what I like. But it's interesting in this pandemic that I'm not going out to eat. So I've been going through recipe.com or the Bon Appetit, or I just buy what you can buy. And what can I do with these chicken thighs? What can I do with all of these vegetables? What can I put together with? So I have enjoyed that part of being quarantined, is that I had to get back in touch with cooking. That's why
you probably make it better.
You're right.
Make it better.
You're right. And I don't add, I'm conscious about the sodium. I read the labels more. I bought a big old thing of turmeric. I didn't even know what it was, but I said, this has got to be something because it's a big one. But all the other, it's right next to the garlic and it's next to this one. Let me try this. And I throw it in my soup. I put it in rice. I just throw it in there.
It's good for arthritis too. So put it in everything. Like I use that in oatmeal.
Turmeric?
Anti-inflammatory.
Oatmeal.
Wow.
It's really excellent.
Turmeric is good for I guess it's the arthritis or
yes.
the bones and stuff. It's supposed to be good. Actually, they sell them in pills that you can take.
Yep, I have those too. Yep.
Wow.
So I could put a teaspoon in my power shake or something.
Well, yes, but you know what? I would advise you to make a concoction first. So make like turmeric, nutmeg, some clove. I like Vietnamese cinnamon, not regular cinnamon, Vietnamese.
Wow.
Or Saigonese. What's the other thing? Oh, shoot. Even ginger, some ginger in that too. Mix that together and you put that in your oatmeal. And I like, instead of raisins, I like dried blueberries, dried cherries, and I dry them myself because I don't trust supermarkets sometimes. That's just me. So, and I mix that all in my oatmeal. It's delicious.
Can I pick up on something that Gail mentioned a few minutes ago? I just love this. You just buy some ingredients, and then after you've bought them and after they're sitting in your pantry or sitting in your refrigerator, you say, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
That to me has been, and maybe you'll agree with me, Gal. I kind of think I got that vibe from you. I feel like that's what saved me throughout this whole pandemic is, just cooking, making a meal every day, but just buying ingredients and not making long-term plans on it, just bringing them in because I like them and then figuring out what to do with them once I have them. That to me has been such a really great thing. One of the few positive things that have come out of this.
Yeah, exactly. And I've discovered some other dishes. I mean, I'm making turkey chili now because the store I went to, they had all of these packets of turkey, ground turkey, as opposed to the red meat turkey. Right. Or I've also switched over to almond milk.
Yes.
I thought it would be difficult. And now, I mean, I'm not even looking back to the other stuff.
Delicious.
So I've embraced the turkey meat. I make my turkey chili. I got the northern beans in there and some other kind of beans I never heard of. Yeah. And I'm just throwing them in there.
Well, over here, and Anthony already knows, in this household, it's limited to what can go into the pot. certain things are picked out with a fork. That's a whole nother story.
That's another show, right?
That's a whole nother show. Yeah. So you said from the islands. That's interesting.
Yes, from the Virgin Islands. So my grandmother, I think she was part Puerto Rican and part West Indian. Wow. And so the smells and the aromas that came from her kitchen. I wish I had listened more or sat with her more around the cooking side. Yes, I did the eating, but I didn't sit with her to see the preparation and all.
Yeah.
She used to do wonderful things with fish.
Huh?
She used to do wonderful things with fish.
Oh, I used to watch my grandmother. She was from Trinidad.
Oh.
And she used to make one thing that we hated. It was called
not okra.
It's made, if I can picture it, it's made with yellow cornmeal. Oh, it's right in my head. Yellow cornmeal is and it's kind of thick. And I think she had green peppers in it and red peppers. And she said, eat this, it puts meat on your bones. Because you're so young and the word is gonna come, watch, it's gonna pop in my head. And then okra. Well, we know okra is from Africa, but still the okra, and I grew up eating okra, and I love it because I will take it and cut it in small pieces, maybe half an inch pieces, and then I batter it.
Was it fried?
And then I'll fry it.
I prefer that than the boiled.
Yeah, I didn't like
cuckoo. Yes.
Yes.
Cuckoo. Oh, okay.
Oh my God! Oh, look! I get goosebumps thinking about it. Because we did not want to eat no cuckoo.
Oh my God. By the way, if you put a plate of cuckoo in front of me right now, it would be gone in 30 seconds.
I have not made it. Maybe now that I'm talking about it, maybe I should try. But I know it was a cuckoo. That was like a no. And then she used to make also. Kingfish was very popular.
Yes.
Yeah,
Kingfish.
That's what she made.
And then she would also make the codfish, but the codfish I think had peppers and green peppers, and it had a reddish color to it.
That's what they made.
Yeah, and that was look at Jackie. She fed us.
No, you don't understand. My family is not from the Caribbean, but my father's side is Gullah, and they kind of cook like that. And then when I was a kid, I had a babysitter who was from I think Bahamas. Yes, Bahamas, and she made codfish fritters. Good God, they were so good. She made spicy ones and she made regular ones. Oh, it just brought me back to my childhood when you talk about that.
Get through the house.
Yes.
Go all through the house.
Yes. Oh my Lord.
I love codfish cakes. It is the best. It is the best. Oh my God, codfish cake. And I can see her codfish cake in that cast iron pan.
Amen. Amen.
In that cast iron. And the color was there. I found it, I can remember because we ate it so much. I thought it was just a little salty, but I remember her putting it on the stove and letting it sit there for a while. When I did it, to do the fast way, I boiled it just to get it out. Then I poured that water out. Then I boiled it again.
Oh,
yeah.
But you know what? It's strange because I was looking on YouTube initially how to make these codfish cakes. This woman, she said she was from the island. She sounded like she was from the island. That doesn't mean she was from the island. But she was making the codfish, and she uses so much flour.
Oh!
It was flour, and she had the codfish. I'm picturing it now. And she added this flour, and she was taking it out with a spoon, and then she was frying it. So I said, okay, I'll give her the benefit. I tried it. It was too much flour for me.
Oh, of course.
To the point that you really can't taste the fish. That's why if I fry chicken or I slice some chicken breast to fry, I use little flour as possible because I don't want the flour to be overbearing. You're going to say something, Anthony?
I was going to say that, I would not use much flour. In fact, I might even not use flour at all. I might be inclined to use cornmeal, just a very light dusting, very light dusting, particularly for codfish fritters, which I've made in the past, and I haven't used flour. I just use a very light dusting of cornmeal, and let me tell you, Jackie, I'm with you. I'm with you when it comes to codfish fritters. Holy cow.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to have to.
You're going to make me go and get some codfish.
Yes, honey. Yes, honey.
Yeah, and that codfish, the dry codfish, that you hit somebody and knock them out.
Yes.
I can picture it in big barrels when I was young, and I've seen it maybe years ago.
I said, like you said, it used to stand up there or they lay them out. It wasn't soft and flexible like the fish you see now at the fish market. It was not that.
Yeah, I think maybe they do that just for the convenience because I guess some people see, unless you know, I guess some people see that codfish and it's hard. They don't know what to do with it. They say, oh, what's that? You know?
Well, I see them like kind of, they have a position where it's like kind of curved, almost like a belt. When you touch it's like that's kind of
So Gail, what other foods come from your side of the woods, I should say?
Let's see. I've been doing Southern because we never cooked Southern when I was growing up.
Love Southern.
We never cooked Southern.
That collard green sandwich. The collard green sandwich.
Southern or soulful?
Yeah. Yes, there is. Yeah,
that's
Southern
true. That's
and
a
soulful.
difference. That's a difference. No, my mother, she'd buy 2 chickens and it could feed 7 or 8 of us.
Amen.
So I think they were really going for getting you filled up, So whether it was the red macaroni, the pasta, I never really had macaroni and cheese the way we look at it now. No, I never had collard greens the way you look at them now. But these dishes I've embraced and started to make myself.
Woo! Now, how do you make your mac and cheese?
I like to buy the individual ingredients, the grated cheese, the 3 different types of cheeses, and some of the, I think I use some sour cream I use in there too. And the key ingredient is the dry mustard.
So you make your roux first. You like to make your roux.
She just gave it away.
Yeah.
Dry mustard.
And I like a creamy one.
That little
yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I like a creamy one. My wife likes it more where it's casserole. A little bit more solid.
I blend mine together because I got that from my father.
Yeah.
So he liked to put the creamy with the chopped cheese. No joke. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous. I only make it during the cold months because
that's a good
summer you want to lose some weight.
But have you heard, Gail, or any of you, I mentioned it before, I made it also, it's so good, except for the cornbread part of it, the collard green sandwich.
Mm-hmm.
I never heard of that. That's like a mayonnaise sandwich.
Ooh, I only know about the collard green sandwich because I know you, Renee, but I mean, certainly collard greens, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's called the collard green sandwich. Mm-hmm. It comes from North Carolina.
Amen.
And the Lumbee American Indians, they make it.
Oh, wow.
What they do, if you look on, let me see, what's her name? Vivian Howard, Somewhere South on PBS. It comes on. She went
that's right.
to North Carolina, and she went to this tribe. Now, when you see it, you're going to see this woman sitting, and in front of her, she had a big bucket, and that was the cornmeal to make the cornbread. She had a hand in there, and she was stirring that. She was stirring it real good. In the meantime, her son, or her grandson, or whoever it was, he was doing the collard greens. Now, you know how we cut our greens like that.
Yeah,
they cut the collard greens in thin strips, almost like a little bigger than spaghetti.
Like spaghetti.
Yeah, it was real thin. And Vivian Howard said, I've never seen it like that. I guess it cooks faster.
Yes.
Now, what they did, she would take this cornmeal, put it in the oil, and it would be thin like a wafer, like a taco, on the side. They cooked the greens. They made something called chow chow.
Yes.
I made the chow chow here. It's so good. Chow chow is cabbage, green tomatoes, and a couple of other ingredients, and the onion and etc. in it. So what they did, they would take the bottom half is the cornbread. They drained the greens because greens are so wet. They put that. Then they put another piece of cornbread. Then they put the chow chow on top of that and put that. So you had a 2-layer. I tried it. I tried to make that cornbread. I put it on the cookie sheet. It didn't work. So I had to get myself some rye bread. But I did it. And let me tell you, let me tell you. So what I did, I took the cornmeal batter. I put it on the cookie sheet. I said, this is going to work. Put it in the oven to cook like that. So I said, let it cool off. And I picked it up. It crumbled. But the way that this woman was making it, hers didn't crumble. It was a crunch. It was perfect. The combination with the cabbage, with the green tomatoes, and that collard green under it, you don't have to have it 3. You can have it one on top of the other. I made it, and let me tell you, it was delicious.
It sounds amazing.
Delicious. I said collard green sandwich. So, I assume that maybe during that time, people had an abundance of collard greens, and what are we going to do with these collard greens?
Right.
Well, if you think back to, I don't know, I equate it to slavery times. You could put those collard greens in a pot at 6 a.m., go out in the fields and do your work, knowing that when I get back at 6 p.m. or it's dark, dinner is ready right there.
That's right. Yeah.
Throw that ham hock in there and it'll be done. I'm just going to turn it a little bit. I know dinner's already cooking. Send Junior back to add some more water at 12.
Yeah.
But that's what I equated with, that our ancestors, nobody else wanted the collard greens or the turnip greens. They took them and nothing went to waste.
That's right.
And those, I mean, when you think about it though, those parts of the vegetable, they really are the best parts of the vegetable.
And they're good for you.
Good for
yes.
you too.
I mean, they're the parts that most people want to throw away, but
yes,
the turnip tops, all the turnip greens, the collard greens, all of that stuff. It's so
the green
good.
from the carrots,
and
the
they're
green
so
from
hardy.
the celery, the
yes,
tops of the celery, the tops of the carrots.
That's
all
right.
of that are cookable and edible. But I guess, fast food is here today, and people don't want to take the time, because when you say collard greens, it's like, okay, put the greens on low fire and go about your business, because it's going to take so long to cook. So what I did, I made a batch, put them right down there in the freezer.
That's right.
Like Kervin. I went to Kervin, to everybody, Kervin Blue. I went to his house, Laura, and I said, what I smell in here? He said, oh, some greens. I said, oh, you cooking greens? He said, yeah. He says, I let them cool down, and I'm going to freeze them. So when I'm ready for them, I just take them out the freezer and heat them up, and it's done. I said, good idea. So I did it.
You know what? You could. Oh, go ahead.
If you went to Kervin's place, he's a single man, God bless him, but he got a refrigerator. It looks like it's for a family of 6 or 8 people.
That's how you do it.
Oh my God! He's a single man. He got the double doors that open. He got 2 doors down here.
That's right.
The cabinets, and don't go around the corner to his pantry. Because it is stocked of what he has.
That's how you do it.
Well, Jackie, tell her about my pantry.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Oh my gosh. When I saw it, I was like a kid in a candy store. I was like a kid in a candy store. You should have. You saw me. I was like a kid in the. I was like, oh my Lord, how'd you do this? I need to do this to my kitchen somehow, because I mean, I have stuff in my kitchen. I mean, I don't really like spices. I love spices, so I don't really have to shop too much for that. But like, I need to find certain things for my kitchen in order to place them like he has. I mean, like you said, the apartment's not huge, but
cart down his little kitchen in there and just things off there.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
Yes, and then the refrigerator, I don't have the 2 drawers like Kervin. I have the 1 big drawer.
Yes.
And that's full to the top.
Oh.
Can put nothing else in it. The top part, you open the doors up and it's like, oh.
You put them in Ziploc or whatever kind of container.
And Laura will tell you then, I said, oh, I have to go to the store. He said, the store for what?
For what?
For what? I mean, Jesus and the 5 loaves of bread, they got nothing on him over here.
Okay.
Just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
But that's my,
in the front, right at the back.
That's my comfort. That's my comfort. If I run out of something,
I mean, look, I get it. I mean, I'm the same way. I mean, I've got a freezer, but it is always full. No matter what I use, I always fill it back up within a week.
Yep.
The refrigerator the pantry is always full. But the thing is, though, that if you like to cook, you need to have ingredients on hand.
Exactly.
And that is like one of the fundamental lessons that you learn as somebody who likes to cook. You realize, okay, the reason why I don't cook is because I don't have anything in the house. You need to have ingredients in the house, and you need to have an array of ingredients. It can't just be one thing. It's got to be it's got to be an array of things. Fundamentals, basic stuff.
That's why I do it. Jackie would tell you that room right there, that's a room with 2 big silver racks.
Yes.
Up. But you know what? I go, if I need something, I say, oh, let me go there first.
Right.
And I'll go there. If I go to the supermarket, I need fresh, say parsley. You know, I need stuff like that. It's going to last so long in the refrigerator anyway. Maybe some milk or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, what can you do?
Yeah.
Well, this has really been good today.
Yes, it has.
I think we did it, right?
Well, thank you for letting the basketball player in to make believe she's cooking and stirring and everything. Thank you so much for having me.
So, Gail, I give you the last word. Is there anything that you would like to share with us or say before we sign off?
I love all of you. I've been taking notes and writing things down. Yes,
awesome.
We're going to shop and everything. I love everything Anthony gave us about the different curries and what Jackie gave. The only thing I didn't get from Jackie was what she's been sipping on, because she haven't moved.
Oh.
Her glass has been full. Oh.
What is that?
Here you go, baby. Here you go. It's called Fuki. Fuki. It's cherry Fuki. So it's like sake, Japanese sake.
Wonderful.
I got this at a restaurant food show. So this is kind of aged, but it is delicious.
Okay.
Maybe I'll find
nutritious.
I might find it at 99 Ranch. I know where that is.
Probably, yeah. Probably. If not, if you want, like, I think, everything's starting to open up now. So the food and restaurant show, they usually come around, it'll be around probably next year in March.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get, you might not need tickets. You might be able to get in there for free. Try to get tickets there and walk around. Like, it's a 3-day event.
Wow.
So you can probably do one day, or you can do all three. I like to do all three because at the end, the last one, they start giving free things away. And this was one of the free things that I got.
Wow.
So, yeah, man. It's delicious.
Okay. Anything else, Gail?
Excellent.
Anything else, Gail?
No, I've learned so much. You've answered all my questions. I feel like going out there to try and experiment. And like Anthony says, just hop in there. Nothing goes to waste.
That's right.
Just do it. Yeah, like you say and I say, you put those blinders on, right?
That's
and
right.
You just keep going straight. You don't look to the left or to the right.
That's it.
Straight ahead.
Anthony,
don't get distracted.
Anthony, anything you would like to leave us with today?
I would just like to say what an incredible afternoon. It was so great to talk food with all of you. It's always fun to talk about food.
Yes, it is.
What's there not to like? So thank you all. Thank you all. I got a lot out of it, and I hope all of you did.
Excellent.
I really appreciate it. And Jackie, is there something that you would like to leave us with?
Don't be afraid to try new things. You have an idea, like I had an idea when I saw the beet powder. Yeah. I had an idea like that, and I was just like, let me try it out, and it worked. Don't be afraid to try new things.
Thank you.
That's right.
Yes. And for me, I can say that I have tried many different types of recipes. All of them do not work out. Just because a person is a chef doesn't mean that everything the person fixes is perfect. There's times I made it and I said, okay, next time I know I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that to it. Mm-hmm. Well, I do have someone who can taste it and and say
the guinea pig.
The guinea pig, but I get a true answer.
Mm-hmm.
If it's good, it's good. If it needs salt, I say, here's the salt shaker. You put the salt.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Nice. But thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Like, have fun, guys. Thank you so much.
Came in and came in on the end of the meeting. Meeting. This is a conversation.
Yeah.
And thanks everyone for being here on Sunday. Oh, hi, Greg.
I'm late. I'm sorry.
Next time, in 2 weeks.
Next time.
But I want to thank everybody who's out there, who's listening to the show. Thank you very much. We really, really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you in 2 more weeks. And we will have so much more to talk about. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
See you then, everybody. Thank you.
Nice meeting all of you. Take care.
Nice meeting you guys.